Good morning, Morgan, and good morning to any of your friends that have joined us today. All right, we've got about 4 or 5 more of these exception videos, and then we're going to move in to talk about different classes. Okay? All right, but before that, we got to get through this. All right, so now we're going to be talking about exception chaining. What does that mean? That means when you're raising, I guess, more than one exception at a time. There's not really a lot to show as far as like example code, although I did do a little bit of code, and I'm going to run it just because I want to see you what it looks like when this stuff blows up. But for the most part, we're just going to be doing some reading today. All right. And with that, let's go ahead and get started.
Python TV52. Exception chaining. The raise statement allows an optional from which enables chaining exceptions. For example.
Alrighty then. Here's an example. Okay, boring example. And let's go ahead and just read right through it.
exe must be exception instance or none. Raise runtime error from exe.
There's where that goes. Right? Okay. Think.
This can be useful when you are transforming exceptions. For example.
Transforming exceptions. What are they? You see, sometimes they use words. I don't know what they're talking about. Transforming exceptions. Okay. So that's the little verbiage they have created to describe overriding the statement on an error, okay? Because that's what we're doing. So we're going like, when it's the IO error, oh, wait a second, we're going to make it the runtime error instead. And this is what we want the output to look like. That's what I think they mean. But they've condensed all that into transforming exceptions. Anyway, let's just go ahead and get the reading done.
This can be useful when you are transforming exceptions. For example, def func. Raise IO error.
All right.
Try. Func. Accept IO error as exe. Raise runtime error. Failed to open database from exe. Traceback.
All right, now I'm going to actually run this a little bit of code, and we're going to see what the output actually looks like in my output. Because it's not this clean, it's full of crap.
The above exception was the direct cause of the following exception. Traceback, most recent call last. File, stin, line 4, in module. Runtime error, failed to open database.
All right, okay, all right, well, I'm thoroughly confused. That's why we run the code. See how things work.
Exception chaining happens automatically when an exception is raised inside an except or finally section. Exception chaining can be disabled by using from none idiom. Try. Open database.sqlite. Accept IO error. Raise runtime error from none.
Okay, so what exactly is it saying here? Because I'm a little confused, and if I'm confused, you must be confused too. Exception chaining happens automatically when an exception is raised inside an exempt, right? Or finally section, so there must be a finally type of section we haven't seen. Exception chaining can be disabled, turned off, by using from none idiom. All right, do we see none anywhere? All right, so there's the none statement, right? Now, it runs this on an IO error, runs this. Let's just go ahead and read this one more time and then go to the bottom.
Exception chaining happens automatically when an exception is raised inside an except or finally section. Exception chaining can be disabled by using from none idiom. Try. Open database.sqlite. Accept IO error. Raise runtime error from none.
Huh. Okay, I'm still foggy on this, and I'm guessing you are too. But what's interesting, what stands out is Remember when we talked about input and output? Well, this is opening a database. You could have a temporary database in Python, man. Isn't that awesome? And this is how you create it. This is how you open it. So we didn't talk about this in the inputs and outputs videos, but we're going to be using a lot. Okay. All right. So I think that's it for the reading. Okay. If you're a little foggy on this, you're not the only one. Anyway, so let's go take a look at the code because I've copied this over. We're going to go ahead and run it, and then let's see what we got. All right. All right. All right. Excuse me. So we're over here in the code. I copied it word for word out of the document. All right. We're going to go ahead and run it and take a look at the output. Okay. But here it is. Here's the code. Now, when I actually hit the start button here, it'll start to run and then it'll stop and it'll like highlight this little bit right here, which is it raising the exception. It's like, oh, we've got to raise an exception. And then you click it and then it keeps running. But that's how this running from a script works. You know, you got to actually have some user interface to let it know, hey, you know, you can keep going. And that's what we're going to do. And we hit the little button and you can't see it, but it freaking, well, maybe you can. I don't know. Anyway, log out, hit the continue button, and I don't think you can see this output, but I can. But we're going to go look at it together right now. So let's go do that. All right, and here's the output. As you can see, there's quite a bit more in here than there is in the manual. But here you see the raise IO error bit. That's right here. And then way down here is the runtime error that we had when it popped out of the exception. All right. All right. Well, with that, we're going to go ahead and continue to the next video. Princess, behave and try not to wreck on your one-wheeler. All right? All right. Everybody have a nice day. Talk to you again soon.